you decide to go with the one-to-one approach? Like you said, you started 4 years ago. So how did that whole process start?
Yeah, we were pretty planful about it. We actually started studying in about 2010.
Yeah.
So we've been thinking about this for a long time. And it always, the way it starts is often with, the start of big things often happen very in small ways. And um, basically, my former supervisor, uh, we both attended an ASTD meeting with Scott McLeod back in 2010.
Yep.
One of his sessions on digital leadership that he was doing for ASTD, it was a series of them. We got back after that first meeting, and she and I started talking, and she said, "Do you think we could go one-to-one?" I said, "Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea." And I'd been kind of resistant up to that point just because at that time there weren't many districts of our size doing it. There were all these little tiny districts that had done it, and there really wasn't a lot of other cases where districts of 5,000 to 6,000 kids have done it.
Yep.
And but at that point, she said, "Well, I think we should too, so let's do it." And so we started studying. So we started building a leadership team, and we were very intentional. We went slow at the beginning to hopefully go fast later, and I think that worked out pretty well for us. We spent the next year building leadership capacity around that, getting our school board, our finance guy, our superintendent, our building leaders, and some key teacher leaders on board with the idea. Kind of, took them to various different learning opportunities. There was an Apple briefing we took them to. We went on visits to places like Westside High School in Omaha, which is a school roughly our size that's doing this. Just tried to get out and get them some learning experiences. Once we kind of, at the end of 2010, going into 2011, we kind of knew that we had the buy-in to do it.
Yep.
From the leadership level. So we spent that next year building kind of technical capacity.
Yep.
So we routed some technical stuff off. We redid the wireless networks and wired infrastructures at the two buildings we thought we were going to do it at, which would be high school and our middle school, one grade of our middle school. So we ramped up there a year in advance, so we didn't have to do it all in 1 year. And then we rolled out. We spent that year while we were doing technical infrastructure trying to build staff capacity, and community capacity. So we took larger numbers of teachers to various different things. We started sending teachers to places like High Tech High in San Diego to learn more about project-based learning.
Nice.
And that was a multi-year commitment. We sent 40 to 50 teachers to the Iowa one-to-one show and large groups to iTech, places like that, to learn more about it. While at the same time, we tried to go deeper with our leadership team as well. We also held focus groups with our community and kids, with our parents and kids. Held those as two separate items. Had somebody else come in and facilitate because we didn't feel like that was probably best for us to facilitate that conversation. We had a third party do that and gathered their feedback on it. And then in 2012, we launched. And we made the commitment that at that time we were going to try to refresh in 3 years, or at least study refresh in 3 years. And so about 2 years ago, we started studying again what we wanted to do. And the feeling on the ground was that while we hadn't kind of hit some of our loftier goals, which is really, we really looked to reinvent, kind of the student-teacher relationship in a really significant way.
Yep.
We didn't want to do just more of the same more efficiently. So if you think about it from, let's say, a SAMR perspective, we weren't really thinking about it from a substitution or augmentation level. I mean, we wanted to get into modification redefinition. In fact, that's really where we wanted to get. And we're not there yet, but we felt like we saw enough in our halfway point, our 18-point month in, that there was a lot of talk that we wanted to expand the process now. So we started studying how to do that. And that's kind of, after doing it for about a year and a half, I was pretty confident in my staff that we could support another fleet and another type of device. And so we started looking around at more affordable options, easier to own options. And, just about everybody else is looking at robust devices. And at their price point, it was about a 2.5 to 3 to 1
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah.
And so we made the decision at that point to kind of start in the middle grades and work up to the more robust device in high school. So,
Okay.